Chapter 1, The Only One. In the quiet, dust-stud village of Umuozola, nestled deep in the southeastern part of Nigeria, life was slow and predictable. The people farmed, drank palm wine under the moonlight, and whispered age-old tales around fire pits. But even in such a serene place, death was inevitable, and when death came, one man became the gatekeeper. His name was Maduka Anoliefo, known simply as Odigu Mortuary. Years ago, when the government hospital closed due to poor maintenance and unpaid workers, Maduka bought an old building and turned it into the only mortuary in Umuozola. At first, it was a simple place with 2 fridges, a lantern, and the faint scent of eucalyptus. But soon, business began to boom. No one else in the village had the skills or the stomach to handle corpses, and Maduka, with his thick dark glasses, rubber gloves, and mysterious charm, took over the sacred duty of preparing the dead for burial. But Maduka had a problem. His taste for money grew bigger than his love for the job. He began charging outrageous fees, N150,000 just to embalm, N50,000 for daily storage, and if the family delayed burial, the price skyrocketed. Grief-stricken villagers had no choice but to pay. He became rich. Obscene rich. In a place where people wore rubber slippers and patched clothes, Maduka wore Italian suits and sprayed imported perfumes that made people sneeze. He built a mansion near the village stream, painted gold and red, with a lion statue guarding the front gate. But then, deaths began to rise. Chapter 2, Whispering Graves. It started subtly. The town drunk, Papa Ebuka, was found dead in the market square, no signs of illness, just a lifeless body. Then came Mama Ijeoma, who died peacefully in her sleep. Then a young boy drowned, though he'd swum that river all his life. People whispered, Umuozola is cursed. Maybe the gods are angry. But only one man profited from the rising deaths, Maduka. His mortuary expanded to hold over 30 corpses. He installed air conditioning, glass viewing rooms, and even had gospel music playing softly in the background. Families from nearby villages also began bringing their dead to him. He made so much money that he stopped using the local bank and built his own vault in his backyard. Rumor had it that he kept stacks of naira wrapped in white burial cloth. And then came the police contract. When the local police station reopened, officers needed a place to keep accident victims and unclaimed bodies. Maduka offered his services for an outrageous price. He charged N300,000 per police corpse, and shockingly, they paid. Soon, even the police noticed something strange. Almost every week, there was a new, unfortunate accident. Hit-and-runs, strange poisonings, sudden heart attacks. And all the bodies. Straight to Maduka's mortuary. Chapter 3, The Stench of Truth. Inspector Dare, a Lagos-bred, no-nonsense officer, was transferred to Umuozola after busting a cartel. He wasn't used to village silence, and he didn't trust friendly faces. Within a month, he noticed the pattern of deaths. Too frequent. Too convenient. And the same man benefiting. He paid Maduka a visit. Inspector, welcome. Are you here for a body or a blessing? Maduka chuckled, sipping chilled palm wine. But Dare wasn't smiling. Too many dead bodies. Too much money. And no questions asked. Dare's eyes pierced. Maduka waved him off. People die. It is life. I only provide dignity. But Dare wasn't convinced. He ordered an autopsy on a fresh corpse, a schoolteacher who had reportedly slipped and died. The results, no head injury. Poisoned. Another body, poisoned. Another, strangled. Soon, it became clear. Maduka wasn't just a mortuary man, he was a murderer, killing to feed his business. And his most brilliant trick. He never killed with a knife. He used injections, silent poisons, and staged accidents. He would appear at the scene moments later, offering to help with the body, like a good Samaritan. The village finally turned cold. Chapter 4: The Judgment. When the news broke, the elders of Umuozola gathered in the square. Maduka was dragged out of his mansion, not by police, but by the very people who had paid him in grief. Women wailed. Men cursed. Youths shouted for justice. He was tied to the Iroko tree at the center of the village square. Elder Nwik spoke. Maduka and Oliefo, you have turned our tears into your gold. You fed your wealth with our pain. But Umuozola will not be your grave. There was no court, no trial. The village had its own law. They gave him one punishment worse than death. Banishment. With nothing but a black wrapper and a warning carved into a wooden plank, he was led into the forest. Never return, the children chanted, throwing pebbles at his back. Never return, the mothers echoed, holding their children close. Epilogue: The Silent Road. To this day, the road to Maduka's mortuary stands overgrown. The gates rusted. The lion statue crumbled. No one knows where Maduka went. Some say he died alone in the forest, others say he found another village to poison. But in Umuozola, one truth remains carved into the wall of the abandoned mortuary. The dead cannot speak, but the living will remember.